Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp follows hapless thief turned shrinking the superhero Ant-Man Scott Lang as he helps his mentor and former Ant-Man Hank Pym to rescue his wife from another dimension, now backed up by Pym's daughter Hope in her own shrinky suit and calling herself the Wasp. It's hard to point at one character in this film as the best, but I like all of them collectively. The connections feel pretty genuine as a bunch of people who all care about each other, but also make fun of each other. It's a very family vibe. Also, the sequence at the beginning with Scott and his daughter is just freaking adorable. She becomes a hero herself in the comics, so I'm hoping that Cassie's gonna be given her own shrinky suit in the next film. Seriously, give these powers to a child. The film just writes itself with how you can do this. Hank, played by Michael Douglas, is probably my favourite as the grumpy former hero, especially his bickering matches with Bill Foster, played by Larry Fishburne. And yes, I am calling him Larry. Why? Because he went credited in Nightmare on Elm Street 3 as Larry Fishburne, and you can't unsee that. In the comics, he was the growing hero Goliath, who's probably thankful that he was introduced after Civil War. That storyline wasn't very Bill-friendly. The villain's fine, but I felt like she needed to be more developed. Ghost, played by Hannah John Carmen Ryder, has a sympathetic backstory and a legit reason to want to capture Hank and his tech, but most of her backstory is just kind of dumped on us by someone else, leaving me with very little to be invested in, which is a shame because I feel like there's a lot here they could have got into. The action is awesome once again, with more creative fight scenes like Wasp fighting men in the kitchen, or the chase scene which gets a lot of cool use out of the ghost phasing through stuff. It doesn't have the heist atmosphere of the first film, but it's creative enough in its own right, finding room to incorporate Ant-Man's growing powers as well. On top, once again, the comedy is more of the focus, with set pieces based around that comedy rather than setting up action. Luis is back and he gets a lot of great lines, and all around it's just got a very fun atmosphere to it. In conclusion, Ant-Man and the Wasp is a decent action comedy with very likeable characters, so it's an 8 out of 10. There's nothing too bad about it, but I struggle to go with that many compliments either. I feel like the big problem is that this came out after Infinity War, so it felt like a step down in terms of tone. Now, I believe that these films should be judged on their own merits and on their own sequels, but at the same time, when Infinity War was that big, it's kinda hard not to feel like this was a step down. But rewatching it the second time around, I had a lot more fun with it, and it's a highly recommendation if you want to watch something that's a little bit lighter. Take care now, bye bye then.
Well, the 60s were fun, but now I'm paying for it.